The United Nations, which is originally known as the United Nations Organization, or UNO, is an international organization formed in the aftermath of World War II. So this organization was officially established on 24th October 1945. So this was after the United Nations Charter was signed on 26th June 1945 by 50 countries at the United Nations Conference on International Organization in San Francisco, USA. So understand this, that the Allied powers, who were about 52 by then, after defeating the Axis powers, they held a conference at San Francisco. So San Francisco is a city in USA. So they held a conference at San Francisco in April 1945, where they came up with a decision to replace the League of Nations with a new peacekeeping body called the United Nations Organization. So the United Nations Organization was created with 6 organs to implement its aims and objectives, and we are going to look at these organs. Now, it came into force after being ratified by the 5 permanent members of the Security Council and the majority of other signatories. So the headquarters of the UN are located in New York City. So let us look at the organs of the United Nations Organization. So the organs of the United Nations Organization include the General Assembly. Now, the General Assembly is composed of all members of the UN. It meets once a year, but a special session can be called under certain circumstances, just in case any unexpected issues arise. So the General Assembly has powers to discuss, review, and supervise and criticize the activities of the United Nations Organization as a whole. Now, it directs and supervises the international economic and social cooperation. The General Assembly also has powers to admit, suspend, or expel any member. Now, another organ is the UN Security Council. So the Security Council meets more often or meets more frequently than the General Assembly. It was created with 11 members of the UN, out of which 5 are permanent members. Now, these include Britain, USA, Russia, France, and China. In 1963, its membership was increased to 15, with the same 5 permanent members. Each member of the Security Council has 1 vote, and every permanent member of the Council has the right to veto the decision of the General Assembly. Now, understand this, that any member state of the UN Security Council has the power to single-handedly block any decision made by UN as a whole. So that is what we mean by veto power. Now, the primary duty of the Security Council is to maintain world peace and security. It has to submit an annual report or special reports to the General Assembly. The third organ is the Economic and Social Council. So the Economic and Social Council comprises of members who are elected for 3 years by the General Assembly. And its main function is to make or initiate studies and reports with respect to international, economic, social, cultural, educational, and health or other social economic problems. So the Council executes responsibilities assigned to it by the General Assembly and those requested by member states and specialized agencies. Then the next organ is the Trustship Council. Now this is an improvement, or in fact it is the modification of the Mandate Commission of the League of Nations. So under the League of Nations, they had an organ which they called the Mandate Commission. So in simple terms, the Mandate Commission of the League of Nations was just renamed Trustship, and the Trustship Council and incorporated into the newly established UN. Now, this was to look after, the Trustship Council was established to look after colonies to ensure fair treatment of the colonized by the colonialists. So the Trustship Council visited the territories under the trustship system to assess how they were being administered. The Council could send questionnaires to states concerned with the aim of getting information regarding the political, economic, or social development of the mandated territories. Then we have the International Court of Justice. Now, the International Court of Justice is an improvement of the Permanent Court of International Justice of the League of Nations. And as we discuss these organizations, you are going to realize that there is no big difference in the structure. So it's just changed the names. The League of Nations changed to the United Nations Organization, and all of its organs were incorporated into this new organization. Now, it consists of 15 members who are elected by the General Assembly. It caters for legal matters, especially cases between two or more states. It also advises the other organs on legal issues. Then finally, we have the Secretariat. The Secretariat is the administrative organ of the United Nations. The Secretary General is the Chief Administrative Officer of the Secretariat. He or she is appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendations of the Security Council. The General Secretary is assisted by a large number of subordinates who have to scrutinize the various roles of the UNO. So the Secretariat is based at New York as its headquarters. The bill for